Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how to play California Dreaming by the Mamas and Papas. To play the song in the original key, you need a capo on the 4th fret. The song begins with that introduction, which is basically notes from the E major chord, and then you're playing the 3rd fret on the B string to the 1st fret, to the open B string, and those notes there, which are the open E string to the 1st fret, and then the open E string again to the 3rd fret on the B string, going down to the 1st fret on the B string, and back to the 3rd fret. And then you can end that phrase on the 2nd fret of the G string and the 1st fret of the G string, before playing the E major chord again. On the recording, it's 2 guitars playing that part, so it begins with the 1 guitar part and then another guitar part comes in and plays some slightly different notes over the top of it, and it sounds really nice. So the song begins on verse 1, which is all the leaves are A minor, G, F, G, E sus 4, E, I've been for a C, E, A minor, F, E sus 4, E, I'll be safe in A minor, G, F, G, E sus 4, E, California, A minor, G, F, G, E. And then verse 2 is the same chord progression again. So you've got A minor, G, F, G, E sus 4, E, got down on my C, E, A minor, F, E, and then you could go to an E7, A minor, G, F, G, E sus 4, E, you're dreaming, A minor, G, F, on such a Wednesday, E, and then we go into the instrumental, which is slightly different. So you're staying on the A minor for the instrumental and have that lovely flute solo coming in. A minor, staying on that A minor, and then C, E7, A minor, F, E sus 4 to the E, A minor, G, F, G, E sus 4, E, and repeat that part again. A minor, G, F, G, E sus 4, E, and then you're into verse 3, which is the same as verses 1 and 2. So you've got all the leaves are A minor, G, F, G, E sus 4, E, I've been for a C, E, A minor, F, E sus 4, E, if I did an A minor, G, F, I could leave to E sus 4 to the E, and then the ending part, California, A minor, G, F, G, A minor, G, F, G, A minor, G, F, on G, E, E7, finishing on the A minor. For the strumming, I like to do a mixture of fingerpicking and strumming. For the fingerpicking, I'm just using my thumb on the A string, starting with the A minor chord there, and then my first finger on the G string and my second finger on the B string, and then back to the G string with the first finger, before changing to the G, where I play the same with my fingers, so but this time the thumb is on the E string, and the first finger is still on the G string, and the second finger is still on the B string, before going to the F, back to the G. And when I play the E chord, you're staying on the E a little bit longer. So you can go from E sus 4 to E, or you could just play the open E chord if you prefer. But because you have longer on the E, when you're finger picking it, you can that, I'm using my first finger is still on the G string, second finger on the B string, but my third finger is on the top E string there. And it's the same when you go into the C for the C, E, A minor, F. And if I'm strumming it, there's different ways you could strum this. You could just do a downstroke if you like. So it's almost like a kind of straight rock beat, rock strumming. So you're going down, 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 down. And I'm dampening the strings when I'm doing that, using that part of my hand there. Or you could also use a mixture of downstrokes and upstrokes, which is what I like to do sometimes, especially on the instrumental. So if we use the instrumental as an example, where we're going on to the A minor and we're staying on that for quite a while, so we're going, it's almost got a kind of off the beat feel to it. So it's down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, down. And I like to lift the chord off the fretboard there at the end of the phrase and put it back on. And then when I'm strumming the rest of the instrumental, it's still using that mixture of downstrokes and upstrokes with the offbeat feel to it. So it really is a fantastic song where you can vary the rhythm playing if you like, or you can just keep a nice steady strum if you want all the way through, or just keep finger picking all the way through. Before I play the song through, I'd like to do a little song analysis, just breaking down some of the chord progressions and talking about the lyrics a little bit. So if you listen to the original recording, it really is a fantastic piece of music by the Mamas and Papas. It was recorded, I believe, in the 60s, so it's quite a long time ago. But first, I just want to talk about the vocals. The singing on the song is magnificent, because when they start the singing on verse 1, so you've got the first vocalists coming in with "All the leaves are brown," and then you have the second vocalists coming in, all the leaves are brown. So there's like two different vocal melodies going on at the same time, almost in a kind of canon style. So when you have a canon, it's the same piece of music played a little bit later on, so to create this effect. But the melody is slightly different. It's not the same, although the lyrics are the same. The melody is just a little bit different, and it gives this fantastic big sound on the vocals. So I think when I'm listening to it, you've got two vocals singing one part and then two vocals singing the next part, but each part they're singing in harmony, which makes it sound even bigger and more powerful. So you've got that "all the leaves are brown," they might be singing either a harmony or an octave with each other, and then the second part that comes in, all the leaves are brown, they're singing in harmony, and it sounds really amazing, I think. And then they repeat that throughout the whole of the song. So you've got that, all the leaves are brown, and the sky is grey, and the sky is grey. And that part where the vocals are going up on the melody, it's amazing, and it's taking the melody somewhere else now. And the sky is grey, And they hold that grey a little bit at the end there, which is lovely. And then this is where the chords change a little bit and get interesting, more interesting, because we already have a nice chord progression there with the A minor, G, F, G, and then the E to give it that little bit of suspense, like it's about to come home, you know. I've been for a walk. And this part where they change to the C chord instead, so now I've been for a C, E, A minor, F. Again, finishing on that E, but the melody is going higher up now. I've been for a walk. And this is where the vocals are, you know, the melody is higher. I just think it sounds incredible. For a walk on a winter's day, but then settling back down onto that E chord again. And then they repeat that for the next part of the verse. I'd be safe and warm. So now we're returning back to the beginning of the verse for this next part. I've been safe and warm, be safe and warm. If I was in LA, if I was in LA. And then for the chorus part, California Dreaming. This is where I think that the vocals, they really build to this point for the song. You feel like this is like the peak of it. California, California dreaming on such a winter's day. And then the vocals joining at the end there on such a winter's day. And they sing down, such a winter, like a crescendo coming down, descending notes, you know, such a winter's day. And then we're back into the verse again, verse 2, and it's a repeat of that. So it really is a fantastic piece of music, that whole part. And then I love where the instrumental goes on this song. On the instrumental, I think it's a flute that's playing there. It's really beautiful. I think the flute player really gets the melody lovely, just spot on, just right for this part. Because the chords are changing a little bit here. We're staying on the A minor. So that lovely melody is going. And I love the flute playing on this part, and it goes like a little bit kind of jazzy. Some nice little bluesy notes there coming. And then we're back into the verse, which is the same chord progression and music as the other verses. And the ending is nice too. The ending, I feel, brings the song to a nice close. California Dreamin. You've just got the A minor to the G to the F, G. California Dreamin on such a winter's day. And again, you've got that effect with the vocals overlapping each other. And the last line that they sing together, it goes from the A minor to the G to the F to the G. So winter's day. And then finishing on that E major chord, coming down, and then ending on the A minor. It's a fantastic piece of music. I've always loved this song. If I was to pick, say, my top 10 songs from the 1960s, this would definitely be in it. And lyrically, I think the song, it kind of conjures up feelings of, well, it's a great setting, the imagery, you know, it's set in autumn, or you call it fall in America, we call it autumn in Britain. That it's the time of year where the leaves turn brown, falling off the trees, it's getting ready for winter, it's getting colder. So the song is definitely set in a scene with the imagery here, with the lyrics. I think it's great. I've been for a walk on a winter's day, I'd be safe and warm if I was in LA. So the writer is missing their home possibly, or missing a place, want to go back to that place. And California Dreamin on such a winter's day. I think we've all been there, you know, wishing the weather was a bit warmer, but also it's a nice metaphor, you know, maybe wishing for other times, happier times that you may have had once. So the song is really touching on universal themes, which is great. And so as a listener, when you're listening to it, you can relate to it, which is awesome. So let's play the song through. Let's give it a go. See how we do. All the leaves are brown and the sky is grey. I've been for a walk on a winter's day. I'd be safe and warm if I was in LA. California dreaming on such a winter's day. Stopped into a church, I passed along the way. Well, I got down on my knees and I pretend to pray. You know the preacher like the cold, he knows I'm gonna stay. California dreaming on such a winter's day. All the leaves are brown and the sky is grey. I've been for a walk on a winter's day. If I didn't tell her I could leave today. California dreaming on such a winter's day. California dreaming on such a winter's day. California dreaming on such a winter's day. And that's how to play California Dreaming by the Mamas and Papas. Thank you everybody for watching, and I'll see you all soon for some more music.